What's up, SKYTRAK? Welcome to my two-car garage that I'm about to turn into a dream home golf simulator. We're going to be using SKYTRAK's newest 8-foot studio available now. I'm going to show you everything from unboxing to setup to me finally hitting on it. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about my overall garage setup. It is a very standard two-car garage. I'm going to go through the measurements, that way you have a frame of reference for yours. I've already measured this, so I do know it's 20 feet in width, but I'll just show you here. So I've got 20 feet width, and then here, this is going to be 24 feet of depth. Ceiling height is a question that we get all the time. We advise that depending on your height, you're gonna want 9 feet minimum so you can be able to swing every club in your bag. Luckily for me, my ceiling height with the garage door down is 10 feet, so I've got plenty of room for every club in my bag. A couple of the things that I've had to take into consideration with my garage setup, number one, I've got this staircase right here. So I'm not gonna move that at all. And then two, I've got a big storage rack here that I'm also not going to move. So that just goes to show that whatever your space is, especially with this new 8-foot studio, we'll be able to make it work in even the smallest of spaces. We've walked through the garage setup, we've walked through some of the challenges that I have. Now all I need is the SKYTRAK studio. For this package that I got, I went with the ultimate studio package. So with that, you get the ball tray, you get your enclosure, which is your frame, your screen, and your enclosure. You get your 8-foot or whatever size that you're getting putting turf. You get the 5x5 hitting mat. And of course, you get the ST Plus launch monitor. And then in the ultimate package, you get the GT2000 HDR Optima projector. The one thing that I do have that is an add-on is the SKYTRAK projector floor mount case. This is just good to protect the projector on the floor, especially in a place like a garage. And the great thing is that with all of these packages, they all come with everything that you need for the complete home golf simulator setup. So now that we've walked through everything, I'm gonna start unboxing and we'll start the assembly. I just unboxed the 8-foot enclosure, the frame, and the screen. So I'm gonna walk you through everything that is going to be inside of the box. The first thing that you'll see are all of the frame poles. Then you've got your corner brackets for your legs and the top. We've also got these brackets to use straps to tighten it down with. And then last, we've got the enclosure and the screen. So I'll walk through that here in just a minute, but that is everything that is inside of the enclosure box, along with an instruction manual that walks you through step by step everything that you need to do to put this together. To start the assembly, here is also a quick tip. When you open the instruction manual, you're gonna see the enclosure build out. What I prefer to do is actually start from the top and build my way down. And I'm gonna get halfway through building down, and then I'm actually going to put the enclosure on. So you'll see that as I go through it. I've got the top built for the frame. So the next step, again, this is a quick tip you could say, is that I'm going to go ahead and put the enclosure on top of my frame and then finish out with the next layer of the frame. Trust me, especially if it's just one person, this will make assembly so much easier. One thing that's different with the 8-foot versus the other sizes is that your screen is inside of the enclosure already. So just make sure that you take the screen out before you start moving on with the enclosure piece. Another tip that I have for you is one of the questions that we get asked the most is, how do you put the enclosure on? So one of the things that I like to tell everyone to be on the lookout for is your top of the enclosure is going to have 3 Velcro tie downs on it. So once you find those, you can identify this is the top. The other two sides also have Velcro tie downs as well, but you will know because it's gonna be on a much, much shorter side. I went ahead and Velcro just a little bit of my side here so that now I can show you where the back of the screen will be. So right here you can see as I'm about to continue to go around and I raise this up, everything will be in place. Now I've got the top of the enclosure in a good place. I went through and I just made the Velcro be a little bit tighter, made sure that it looks good. The next step while I'm here, while this is low, I'm gonna go ahead and put my Velcro tie downs on. So this is just a simple process. You don't wanna make these too tight yet. You'll tighten these down once you're finished with the whole enclosure. Now, one of the last steps of getting the enclosure fully built is I'm going to put the rest of the legs on and the base. So that's why putting the enclosure on from the top down makes the process just a little bit easier, especially whenever you just have one person, because reaching up to the top is extremely difficult. Now I've got the enclosure and the frame fully built. What we're gonna do is work on the Velcro on the sides. My recommendation here is don't tighten it down too much just yet. Just get it in a good place and then put your screen on. So I'll walk you through that here in just a second, but for right now, I'm just gonna go through, get my sides in a good place, and then attach the screen. One of the last steps when putting the enclosure up, just like on the top, you take your Velcro tie downs here. You've got 3 on each side. Just don't forget about that. Or if you're going through the box and you're like, what are these things? Now you know what they are. So you got 3 on each side. Last step with the enclosure is the impact screen. So we've made it even easier for you to install this now. There are tabs that tell you what the top are. So it's Velcro all around except for the bottom. Once you find your top, you just start with your Velcro in your corner and your top. So this is my upper right-hand corner. And there you have it, an 8-foot studio enclosure. And again, I did this by myself. I promise it's even easier whenever you do have a buddy there to help. Just to review, like I said, you want to start by building the frame from the top down. Halfway through the build, go ahead and put your enclosure on and then start to continue the build and raise it up and then tighten it down on your sides with those Velcro straps. Last thing that you're gonna do is install your impact screen. That might take a little bit of moving and adjusting, but once you get it in a good place, just go back through and make sure your Velcro is nice and tight and snug, and you're good to go. Moving ahead to the next steps in your simulator setup, I'm gonna go ahead and lay out my hitting mat, my ball tray, and my projector and the floor mount case. All right, we are almost finished with the full simulator setup. We will do a separate video on how to set up your projector. And if you already have an ST Plus unit in a studio, make sure you go over to SKYTRAKGolf.com and click on Getting Started, and that'll walk you through step by step how to set up your ST Plus launch monitor. And our final step, the ST Plus launch monitor, I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this and then get it set up. Look at that. Such an awesome looking piece of equipment. Look at that. All right, there you have it. I just built the new 8-foot golf simulator studio from SKYTRAK in my garage. I gotta admit, this is a dream come true. So if you're interested in building your dream golf simulator, I encourage you to go over to SKYTRAKGolf.com, check out all of the different packages that we have that will fit within your budget and within your space. And if you have any questions at all, you can book a free consultation with one of our sim pros. And now for the fun part.